Hello and welcome. Thank you very much for joining us here on Times Now. This is Times Now Live and I'm Hina Gambhir. Viewers, let's tell you what happens when cricket meets controversy. Ahead of IPL 2026, Shah Rukh Khan owned Kolkata Knight Riders signed Bangladeshi pacer Mustafizur Rahman for 9.20 crore rupees. But the decision didn't remain a cricketing call for long. It came amid nationwide outrage over brutal lynching of Hindus in Bangladesh. The backlash was swift and fierce. Social media erupted, political reactions poured in, and Shah Rukh Khan himself was targeted with charges of being a traitor. As the outrage intensified, the Board of Control for Cricket in India, BCCI, stepped in. Breaking its silence, the BCCI has now directed KKR to drop the Bangladeshi fast bowler from its IPL squad. A clear and decisive intervention by the cricket board, drawing a red line. Listen in.
In the recent auction in Abu Dhabi, KKR picked up one player, namely Mustafizur Rahman from Bangladesh, into their squad. And after seeing the prevailing situation during the course of last few days, BCCI has instructed KKR authorities to unleash that player and remove him from the squad. And accordingly, we have issued necessary instructions to KKR authorities to take out that player from their squad, and if they want any further replacement in place of Mustafizur, and subject to their request, BCCI will look into it and provide the replacement as per the terms and conditions of the IPL regulations.
Kolkata Knight Riders in its statement mentioned that KKR has confirms that the BCCI, as the regulator of IPL, has instructed it to release Rahman from the squad ahead of the upcoming Indian Premier League season. The release has been carried out following due process and consultations upon the instruction of the Board of Control of Cricket in India. BCCI is going to allow Kolkata Knight Riders a replacement player in line with IPL regulations, and further details will be communicated in due course. Now, this decision has been welcomed by the BJP leaders, asserting that it has sent out a strong message to Bangladesh amid attack on Hindus. So, BJP Neta also targeted Shah Rukh Khan for signing the player. Listen in.
पहली गलती तो शाहरुख खान जो मालिक है उन्होंने इस तरीके से एक क्रिकेटर जो विवादास्पद है उसको लिया, लेकिन मैं बीसीसीआई को धन्यवाद देता हूं कि बीसीसीआई ने भारत की आवाज सुनी और करेक्टिव स्टेप्स उठाए हैं। वास्तव में जो कोई भारत के खिलाफ यदि बोलेगा तो उसको हमारे साथ कोई संबंध रखने का अधिकार नहीं है और हमें भी उससे संबंध नहीं बनाने चाहिए।
भारत देश के 100 करोड़ सनातनियों की भावनाओं को समझते हुए जो बीसीसीआई ने निर्णय लिया है उसके लिए बीसीसीआई का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। और हमने कल ही आप लोगों से कहा था कि आप निश्चित रहिए, भारत सरकार और बीसीसीआई इस पर को संज्ञान लेगी, क्योंकि 100 करोड़ हिंदुओं की भावनाओं से खिलवाड़ नहीं किया जा सकता। और धन्यवाद बहुत बहुत बीसीसीआई का कि उन्होंने इस तरीके का निर्णय लिया। और मैं फिर एक बार कहूंगा, ये पूरे भारत के हिंदुओं की जीत है, सनातनियों की जीत है। वो शाहरुख खान समझ नहीं पाए थे ना, अब शाहरुख खान की समझ में आ गया है कि भारत में रह के सनातनियों से पंगा लेना या सनातनियों के विरुद्ध चलना वो अच्छा नहीं रहेगा। और उन्हें ये समझ आ गया है कि देश के सैकड़ों करोड़ जो सनातनी हैं उन्हें शाहरुख खान बनाया है।
But the decision by BCCI has irked the opposition, while Shiv Sena, the Uddhav Thackeray faction Neta, asked why the decision was taken after much delay. A Congress leader made a Sheikh Hasina comparison as well. Listen in.
भारतीय जनता पार्टी उस पर विचार करे कि एक तरफ कहते हैं कि बांग्लादेशियों को रुकने नहीं देना है और उनकी पूर्व प्रधानमंत्री को जो है दिल्ली में रखा हुआ है। ये सिर्फ चुनाव में लोगों को मुद्दों से बहकाने के लिए ये सारी मुद्दे भारतीय जनता पार्टी लाती है।
सबसे पहले हम बीसीसीआई के सचिव सैकिया जी को दिल से धन्यवाद देते हैं कि उन्होंने देश के करोड़ों हम हिंदुओं की भावनाओं को समझा। हम सब पहले दिन से विरोध कर रहे हैं कि जब तक बांग्लादेश और पाकिस्तान घुटने पर बैठकर क्षमा याचना हमारे देश से नहीं करता है, उसके टीम को पूरा बहिष्कार होना चाहिए। और बीसीसीआई ने हमारी भावना को समझा। शाहरुख खान साहब, आप हमारे हीरो हैं, बचपन से हम आपको देखते आए हैं। आपको भी पहले ये फैसला लेना चाहिए था कि उसको नहीं लेना चाहिए।
Joining us on the broadcast right now are my guests. We have Yuvraj Bukharn, who is a columnist, Rajinder Amarnath, former cricketer. We also have with us Khalikur Rahman, leader of the Congress Party. Good evening to all of you. Thank you very much for joining us here on Times Now. Yuvraj, let me begin this discussion with you. If you heard what BJP Sangeet Som had to say, he thanked the BCCI and the government for taking this decision, considering the feelings of Sanatanis and Hindus all over the world. He's the same man who called Shah Rukh Khan a traitor. I mean, how will you like to respond to the developments in this case so far? I mean, should there be politics when it comes to cricket is the question that many are asking.
First of all, I think wherever sensibilities are involved, sentiments are antithetical to sensitivity, and this is an issue that is germane to 100 crores of Hindu, and gratitude where it is due. I am also thankful to BCCI for taking a much welcome step, because if you carefully read the developments, India has rightly snubbed Bangladesh. Talks, trade, terror cannot go hand in hand. Over 2,900 complaints of violations under Yunus-led government have taken place in Bangladesh. And even as we are speaking, day after day, Hindus are being lynched, they are being killed. And right now, Yunus-led government has seized off called off all the Hindu holidays, Hindu festivals. So this is a rightly step. Why should we take any player from Bangladesh or Pakistan? And for God's sake, we have a lot of countries. So this is a very rightly step taken by the BCCI, and I'm actually thankful to the government as well for the rightly and proactive steps.
Okay. Rajinder Amarnath, how will you like to respond? Because, you know, this question today is being asked also because the IPL 2026 player auction actually took place on 16th of December 2025, just a couple of weeks ago. And we have been getting reports of Hindus getting targeted in Bangladesh for a very long time. So don't you think if these concerns were there, then perhaps in the beginning only, BCCI should not have really allowed Bangladeshi players, to even participate in the auction process?
Well, to be honest, I was quite surprised. The honor of the country comes first. Cricket can be played later. This is my theory, which has always been there. Because unless and until you put the interest of your country first, you will never get the rich dividends which you are looking at from the sale of the tickets or making enough money from these IPL matches. So I personally feel this has been a very good decision by the BCCI to step in and rectify the mistake which has been made by KKR. And also, let's not forget the sentiments of the millions of Indians. I'm not segregating the society into one community or the other community. Definitely, the larger community, which is the Hindus, have suffered in the so-called Bangladesh. They are the minority there. They are unable to fight the fundamentalists in that country. Keeping that in mind, I think KKR should have taken into consideration that a player coming from Bangladesh will not be received with open arms. You should have realized that the sentiments are going to step up the moment you start playing IPL. And if any unforeseen incident happens on the field pertaining to this cricketer, who would have taken the brunt of the problems, and the situation could have gone out of hand.
Okay.
And definitely the opposition would have pointed it to the government. So keeping all those things in mind, I think the decision by the BCCI at the moment is correct, which I think is going to be followed by more decisions against Bangladesh. This is not the end of a decision taken against that country for the kind of situation they have created for the minority there.
Okay.
But I'm very hopeful. More decisions are going to be coming forth now.
Okay. So, Khalikur Rahman, how will you like to respond? Both the gentlemen who have spoken before you, in fact, have welcomed this decision of the BCCI and also trying to suggest that whatever Shah Rukh Khan-led KKR did in the auction was incorrect.
Yeah, good evening. In fact, as for the BCCI concern, it is not that the BCCI was not aware as to what was happening, especially with our people in Bangladesh. But in spite of that, the BCCI allowed the auctioning of the players, and then they allowed the players to be picked up from Bangladesh. So here you can't really blame Shah Rukh Khan or the KKR for having selected a player from Bangladesh. Then after that, there has been an outrage in the country, especially. One thing I would like to, place on record here, that the politics and cricket as a sport, they both should be, seen differently, because we should not, mix the politics with the sports. Otherwise, what happens is, because the sports will definitely, take the back seat, and the politics, as usual, by the vested interest, will always be running as a front runner. So it is very important that the government of India, in fact, on one hand, allowed the Indian team to play against Pakistan in the Asian Cup, and it is very clear that at that point of time, our relations with Pakistan were not good, and we were in fact, fighting against Pakistan, especially on the Pahalgam and Operation Sindoor and all that. But in spite of that, so I think the government of India should come out with a very clear policy, and BCCI being the regulating body of the cricket here, I think should spell out the guidelines very clearly much before such auctions are taking place, rather than allowing the team owners to pick up the players later on, putting them into an embarrassing situation, and then letting the the countrymen to come out with the criticism and then facing the outrage. So I think
some very interesting points you have made, and both Yuvraj as well as Rajinder Amarnath want to respond. Rajinder Amarnath, to you first, and then Yuvraj.
Yeah. Ignorance, they say, is a bliss. I can see that. Because the gentleman, Mr. Rahman, I'm not being rude or anything, but what I'm trying to say is that BCCI does not have any say in selecting the players. It's a franchisee who picks the players.
You're not trying to understand what I'm trying to understand.
I'm coming to that. I'm coming to that point also. Yeah. Cricket and politics should not be put together, because the sport is
I think the point that he was trying to make, Rajinder Amarnath, was also the point that I raised when I came to you for your reaction, was that if indeed there was a problem with players from Bangladesh, then why were they even allowed to be part of the auction process? I mean, this is not something that the teams decide, right? They don't say, oh, we want a player from this particular country, we want a player from this particular country. There must be a process in place, right, from where a pool of players is created and then the auction happens?
Absolutely, absolutely. There's a pool of players, and then the franchise is set, and then they go for the bidding. BCCI does not interfere in the bidding at all. BCCI
so can you enlighten us? Can you started by saying ignorance is bliss at times. So can you tell us a little bit about who really decides as to how many players are going to be there in this pool, from where auction is going to happen, where will they come from, which countries will participate and which won't be allowed?
Every player in the world can apply for IPL bidding. You can apply for IPL bidding. I
am not a cricketer, so I will not really qualify also.
That's not the question. Any player who feels that he has the potential can apply and play, because it's a huge league to play in. It's the world's #1 league to play in, and the kind of remuneration which it offers.
So if applications come, I'm sure there is a body that must be vetting the entire process.
Yeah. And then these players are put on the bidding, and the names are put. Somebody comes onto the platform, in the sense not platform standing there, but somebody's name has been announced, and then the franchise is sitting all around. They feel that you need a kind of a player in the team, and then bidding starts.
Okay.
Here they found a player who would be a an asset to their team, especially a pace bowler from Bangladesh. That's the reason is...
what is the role of BCCI in all of this then?
BCCI is an overall body which runs the IPL.
So BCCI can actually come out and say that players from Bangladesh are not going to be allowed in IPL 2026. They could have done that. Do you think they could have done that, given how the situation of minorities, specifically Hindus, has been in Bangladesh for last 1.5 years? Do you think that was a miss?
Situation, I personally think they must have missed it somewhere down the line, or their policy has not been clearly defined. That because at the moment the policy had been not to take any player from Pakistan. And that is where the buck stopped.
I think Khaliqur Rahman, you've got the answer there, because just now he has explained to us that of course BCCI could have played a role before the auction process, did not, and after the entire controversy, asked the team to drop this player from Bangladesh. So clearly, you know, it's like, why should only Shah Rukh Khan's KKR be blamed?
Absolutely, yes. And another thing which I think the BCCI or even the IPL or any regulating body should keep in mind, that there are definitely some sensitive issues which needs to be taken into account, and accordingly the policy should be formulated, and then those policies are thrown for the team owners. But unfortunately in this case no such thing was done. So that is the reason it is I think wrong on part of even us or anyone to blame especially the team owners, because the teams were given the liberty to pick up the players.
Yes.
And they were, so that is the reason. So I think one has to be rational. Yes.
Yuvraj.
Ina, let me bite the bullet straight away. Selecting, I'm not sorry for the word that I'm about to use, selecting a Bangladeshi pig was a collective failure of BCCI and KKR, the IPL body. It was their collective failure. Maybe they put over economy over the national security and the pride of the country.
Okay, let me play devil's advocate here, Yuvraj, because there is another view that has also come on this particular story. And those who are supporting KKR and KKR's decision to actually pick this Bangladeshi player are saying that, one, there is no clear policy that players from Bangladesh are going to be banned in India. Second, they are saying that this particular player hasn't really said anything about, India, hasn't said anything anti-India, or hasn't really been part of this anti-India protest or anti-minority protest that we are witnessing in Bangladesh. So why, hold him responsible for what is happening in the country against Muslims? That is another view that people are raising on social media. How will you like to respond?
Some things are very abstract. Just to say, respecting a woman does not want me to ratify something from the constitution, or respecting your motherland, respecting the dignity and sovereignty of your country does not warrant me to get go from the authorities or some signal from the ministry. It is your basic duty as a responsible citizen. Nobody has asked us to abandon Pakistan, but people are abandoning it. It is the national sentiment of the country, which is now reflecting in the policies of the BCCI. So that's what a responsible body is about. Okay. Whether it is BCCI or our government, they are doing just respecting the national sentiment of the country. They are echoing the sentiment of the country. Just 10 seconds, Hina. Just
finish your point.
Mr. Rahman comes from a grandstanding, but I just want to ask him, since he's a Congress leader, what is the stand of Congress on Bangladesh? आपके नेता बोलते हैं कि भारत में माइनॉरिटी के साथ ये हो रहा है, वो हो रहा है, इसलिए बांग्लादेश ये कर रहा है. आपके मुखिया बोलते हैं कि तो छुटपुट हुआ ऑपरेशन सिंदूर. राहुल जी बोलते हैं कि हमारे सैनिक पिट के आ गए. What is your stand on the national issues?
Okay, चलिए, Khaliqur Rahman wants to respond.
See, because as far the IPL is concerned, I think the gentlemen who are sitting here, one in fact is a renowned cricketer, the other one in fact is a columnist. They should understand that these players are not representing the country. They have been selected based on the talent. It is, the very format of the IPL is the talent pool. So whichever country, the player belongs to, that is, not of that importance. It is the talent based on which these players are selected here in the IPL, and those players are not representing their country. Because in one team, you may let me complete. I'm coming to that. So in one team, you might find players from different nationalities, 5 to 6 nationalities, even 7 nationalities. So, but at the same time, it is our duty to respect the situation and how our people are being treated. On that, the BJP government, I'm replying to my columnist friend, that the BJP government should come out with a policy. On one hand, they are, shielding the Hasina ji who comes into the country, and on the other hand, they can't tolerate a player picked up by, one of the team owners.
Quick response, Yuvraj, and then Rajinder Amarnath.
I'm sure the Congress senior leader understands diplomacy and how things work. If a national leader seeks asylum in another country, it is our prerogative to give asylum. And
Exactly.
We are Hindus. But we cannot give asylum. We cannot let the terrorists run amok. And it is a rightly snub to Bangladesh, the terror state Bangladesh, the Chota Pakistan, if I may say so.
Okay, Rajinder Amarnath, I want to give you the last word. Do you think at least one thing we will all agree on, that perhaps on situations like these, a clear policy can be helpful?
Absolutely. Because unless and until everybody is aware that this is where the buck stops, you cannot take a player from a country which is fighting a proxy war against you, or killing the innocent people in the country. Because you talk about human rights, where is the human rights gone now? And when you talk about human rights, it is the right time to take a decision. And I think the decision has been taken at a very appropriate time by BCCI. And I think everybody is going to accept it.
Well, a decision has been taken, and it's being welcomed by some, being questioned by many, but clearly it has also started a war of words. We'll leave it there. Thank you very much, all of you gentlemen, for joining us here on this debate.